Hey guys, people who are starting to join now, just introduce yourselves a bit on the chat window. Just put your city and your name. Hi Bhanu, hi Sonali, hi Gurpreet, hi Shahnaz, hi Nidhi. He's our fast track program member. Hi Shalu, hi Anmol, hi Tarun, hi Abhishek, hi Simarjot, hi Nasir, hi Aditya. Okay, all of you. Great having you guys. I'll get started exactly at 9 p.m. Today's agenda is going to be reading. I've been getting a lot of requests to have a session on reading, and that's why we thought we'll have this. It's going to be about matching headings. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Harpreet. Okay, some of our fast track program members are also here. Nice to have you guys. Hi, Mayur. Hi, Advaita. Okay, Okay, just before I get started with the session, do you guys know what matching information means? Which is the agenda of today's session. Do you guys know what matching information means? Just give me a quick yes or a no on the chat box. Okay. 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 A lot of yeses, a few nos. Okay. Okay, just a few knows. Most of you know what matching information means. Okay, great. I'm obviously going to talk about that today, but I just want to know my audience. Okay, more people joining in. Great. All right. Okay, so if this is your first time, just give me a quick first time on the comments box. I know I've seen some of you guys earlier in the classes, but it can be your first time with me as well. Just give me a first time if you are taking this session or my session for the first time. Okay. Hi, Suruchi. Okay. Anirudh Ruby. Great. Hi, Afzal. All right. Okay, a lot of you are first timers as well. Okay. Okay then, let's get started with today's session. This is your first time. Okay, a lot of you again are first timers. I will keep looking at the chat box for a while, but if there's something that's very distracting, I'll obviously keep looking at that. Your questions, I'll make sure I answer them at the end. But if it's specific to matching information or with the reading section, your questions will most probably be answered by the time you reach the end of the session. Okay, but apart from that, if you have questions, please make sure to post them either on the Q&A box or on the chat window so that I know that I'll have to address them. Okay, now before I introduce myself, just quick ground rules. This session is going to be a 1 hour session and also a lot of valuable insights regarding the concept that I'm going to talk about will be shared to you. And these are all genuine, honest, taken from a student's perspective, not really generic or something that can fetch you a shortcut score in the reading section. They're all genuine tricks. Okay. Yeah, and another thing that I want to share, if there are any irrelevant or hate comments, one, I will choose to ignore them, or I'll remove you from my class. So I don't want any such distractions in this session. It's going to be very short, and I make sure I end it as soon as possible. Okay, yeah. So just a little bit about us. We are grassroots education consulting, and we mostly coach students on English language coaching. So TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, GRE, and also other banking exams. And we started this venture with the motive to make students genuinely like the language. Okay, so did you guys? I mean, do you guys genuinely like the language? Or just give me a quick yes if you do. Do you guys genuinely like English, or is it because IELTS that you are forced to like the language? Okay, a lot of you are giving. I hope those are honest yeses, though. Okay, great, great. Good that you genuinely like it, because it's necessary that you like English, or at least you have to force yourself to like the language if you have to write an exam like IELTS. Okay, all right. Now the two of us behind this company. One of us is Abhishek. He is an PGP from ISB Hyderabad. He also did his PGD from Education Administration from Symbiosis Pune. He did that through long distance, and he's our speaking and grammar coach. And if you have taken his sessions, you know how his sessions are and how grammar oriented his sessions are. He's extremely grammar obsessed. We also share the writing section because that's a bit of an overload always. Okay, and apart from that, he is also a public speaker. He likes organizing sessions either related to communication and public speaking, or related to entrepreneurship and business mostly. So this is one of his sessions at VIT Vellore. Okay, about me, I am a PGP LDP from IIM Calcutta, as in long distance. I did that through long distance. After which, I founded this company with the motive to motivate students and also like the IELTS test. So I love teaching, and I also love motivating people. I love interacting with students like you, basically, and that's why I ventured into IELTS. And I'm the listening, reading, and the writing coach here, as in I create content, I help or design programs for in grassroots education, mostly related to IELTS. Okay, yeah. So I also had taken a training regarding IELTS. This was conducted by IDP some time back, and I got a chance to interact with some of the most experienced people in the industry, and also gain a lot of insights, genuine insights about IELTS. Okay, okay. Someone was asking me about Instagram handles. We are active on Instagram and on Facebook. So this is our Instagram handle, IELTS by Grassroots Education. You can follow us there. We have touched about 3,000 people some time back. We are active on these two channels, not so much on Facebook. Okay, so that's about our social media handles. Now, recent developments, we are also authorized channel partners of IDP, which means that any update regarding the exam or regarding the exam dates or anything of that sort will be received by us firsthand, and we make sure we communicate it to our community. Okay, so again, just a reminder that whatever I share today is keeping in mind what the IELTS wants out of a student when he's taking his reading test. Okay, so those are the kind of insights that I have for you in the session today. And today's agenda is very simple, but in the end, it will get a little intensive. So just make sure you have a pen or paper or something if you want to take notes, or if you just wish to look at this session. It's being streamed live on YouTube as well, so you can look at it later. I mean, if you had clarifications or anything. Okay, yeah. So this is my agenda for today: introduction to reading, key skills to reach the magical score of band 8, some strategies for matching information. That's the question type I have for today, and a little bit of practice. Okay, So make sure you actively participate in the session by interacting with me on the chat window. Now, again, I'm going to go back to the poll. So still a half of you haven't taken the exam, and nearly a half of you feel that matching information is a problem. Okay, so just again, let me know if reading is a bottleneck for you, as in you have taken the exam earlier or you are preparing for the IELTS and you feel that reading is a bottleneck. Do you feel so? Just give me a quick yes if you do. Our channel's name on YouTube is Grassroots Education, same name. Okay, a lot of you say yes, yes, reading is your bottleneck. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just looking at the responses. Okay. 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 So I'll also tell you what you can do basically at fundamental level to improve your reading score. All right. So about reading, if you guys have no idea what reading test means, it has 40 questions in total with a time limit of 60 minutes. Okay. And the pattern is different for academic and for GT reading. So if you're a student, remember that your pattern will be different from someone who is applying for a PR. All right. So just remember, and also if you have written academic in the past and are applying for PR, remember this is one of your uh, different areas in the IELTS. It has 3 sections. Each of these sections contain 11 to 14 questions each. Okay. And again, you remember your time limit is 60 minutes, as in you will have to complete all the 40 questions at least within 55 minutes for you to be able to check your answers. All right. Now, just a little bit about academic and GT reading as well. So, what are the 3 key differences? The major ones, are the number of passages. So, if you are a student and if you want to write the academic IELTS, you will be having just 3 passages. By just 3 passages, I mean they're long, lengthy ones. Whereas if you're writing GT reading, you will be having 4 or 5 passages to in the test. All right. And again, not all of them are long. The first 3 or the first 4 are usually short, and the last one is always the longest one. And both academic and GT reading have increasing difficulty level, as in the first passage is always easy, whereas the last passage is always difficult. The kinds of passages are also different. So, in academic reading, it's mostly descriptive, it's mostly opinionated, and sometimes argumentative, was trying to just say something illustrative mostly. Whereas in GT reading, it's there are no opinionated passages. They're mostly just description. That's all. So it can be description about a certain place, about a historical event, anything. All right. The first 2 sections involve just notice boards or some kind of training manuals, all these things in your first 2 sections. Now, which is difficult, which is easy? Well, that's both are same in difficulty level. They are challenging in their own ways. Okay. Yes. Now, another thing that's different is the scoring. So, if you are a student again, your score, you will reach a 7 if you just score 32 on 40. Whereas if you are a GT reading candidate, then you score a 7 only if you score 34 on 40. That's an unfair scoring, but academic reading is challenging because of the lengthy passages, and that's why the consideration. Okay, so these are the 3 different things. In case you didn't know, or in case you wanted to know the differences, this is something that will help you understand. Okay, I'm just looking at a few questions. Please make sure to keep the questions relevant, and also I'll make sure I answer these, some of them at least at the end. Now, this Zoom class is safe because you've been given a link to register. Somebody who is unauthorized cannot enter the session, or we'll know if someone else has signed in. All right, so don't worry about that. Okay, now let's move on and let's progress with the session, guys. I want you to focus on the learning part of it. Okay, now key skills. This is again very, very important. And also you can apply this, you can apply whatever I say now to the practice that I do along with you in the end, right? So just remember these things. If you wish to take notes, there's no problem, you can do that. Voice is not audible. Why? I'm not sure why. Okay, Anmol, I think it's your network because my mic settings are fine and also the others have no problem. All right. Okay, it can be that your mobile internet is a problem. All right. Some key skills, just the three of them. Speed reading. That's definitely one. And how fast are you supposed to read? Now this is interesting. So when I attended the IDP training, the examiner who was taking our training asked us to read a passage that was almost 700, maybe 1.5 page long, 800 words approximately within 30 seconds. As in, he asked us to skim the entire passage, and I have to be honest, I couldn't do it. I just reached half of the entire passage within the 30 seconds. So my skimming techniques were wrong that time. And then when he told us that it's not necessary for you to read every detail that is present, that's not how you develop speed. Your eye has to constantly keep moving. Okay, and you'll have to look at key data points or key information in the passage, and either make use of your eye, make use of your cursor, all right, if it's on a laptop, or make use of your pencil or pen. Just highlight information as in when you read it. That's how you do skimming. Your technique has to be right. Okay. Now, when you do skimming, remember it's not just about picking words, or it's not just about picking the words that you read and then remembering those words. It's about remembering the content of the passage. What exactly is the passage trying to tell me? That has to happen. And that's what I mean by speed reading. It's just a branch of speed reading, as in you'll have to also be able to grasp content as quickly as possible. And this, my friends, is very, 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 very important. Okay. And if you haven't been doing this, please start this. And how do you develop this? Again, it doesn't happen overnight. It can't happen today. When you read a passage, it won't happen. You will have to make sure you have that habit of reading every single day. It can be a newspaper article, it can be either a blog, it can be an article, it can be anything. Okay, so remember that you have to make sure you do reading practice every single day. Okay. All right, so some of you are telling me that voice is not clear. I'm not sure why. Maybe your data is a problem. Okay, now the next thing that is important is your vocabulary skills. Okay, as in you will have to be able to understand the difficult words there, or at least try to capture the content with whatever understanding that you have. Don't try to get the perfect or reach the perfect level of understanding. Just maybe apply your brain a bit and see what the passage is or the sentence is trying to tell you. Okay, I mean, improvement of vocabulary skills is necessary, but if you don't understand a certain sentence, you cannot stop there and keep reading that sentence over and over again. All right, so that will become a problem again in step one, which is speed reading. Okay, another thing that is important, and it's probably the best thing you should do for yourself, is have your own techniques, your own method for each question type. So if you're doing matching headings, if you're doing true or false, follow the genuine techniques that are there, that are probably there in the IELTS website. Follow them, and while you're practicing, make sure you have your own technique to reach to the answer. Okay, so that has to happen, and that comes only with practice. So both your fundamentals of reading and also fundamental understanding of the IELTS reading section is necessary. Common questions asked in IELTS. Common question types, you mean, Ganesh? Yeah, some of them are true or false, matching headings, information, all the fill ups, summary, sentence. You also have multiple choice. Okay. All right, so that was about some key skills, and there's no shortcut. You will have to make sure you incorporate these things in your daily practice. Okay, now let's move on for today's question type, which is matching information. Now, are you guys with me? Just give me a quick with me if you're there. And yes, just give me a quick yes. Great. All right. Okay, make sure to not raise your hands. Just maybe put it on the chat box. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then great. That's nice. We have an active class today. Okay, now about what exactly is matching information. Again, this is for people who are just getting started and you have no idea about IELTS reading. This is for you guys. Okay, it's very simple. You have pieces of information present as questions. Okay, what's the objective of matching information? You have pieces of information present as your questions. Okay, and for one passage you'll probably on an average you'll have say 7 or 8 questions. All right, so okay, again, if you're not audible, maybe your internet is a problem. Redmi Note 7 Pro. Okay, okay, coming back to my session. So you are asked to match the information that is present in the question with the one that is present in your passage. Okay, so if you have 7 questions, the first question might have information taken from any of these paragraphs. So you have say 10 or 11 paragraphs. Your first question might be present in say the fifth paragraph or the sixth paragraph. You will have to find that. Okay, so it's literally locating the information that's given in your question in the particular passage that you're reading. And why is it so difficult? Why do you think it's this question type is very difficult? And again, let me go back to my poll. Why do almost 45% of you, which is again 63 out of 145 of you, are telling me that this is my problem area? Why do you think so? Why do you think this is a problem? Can someone answer on the chat window? Yes. Okay, it's time consuming. Yes. Confusing. Okay. Everything looks the same. Okay. Time consuming. All right. Questions are confusing. Okay. Confusing. Okay. You also start getting nervous. Yes, that happens. Natural. Okay. Time and everything looks the same to you. Okay, you're not able to understand the content properly. Just taking a long time to understand. All of them look the same information. You try and find in 2 paragraphs. Oh, okay, agreed, every answer looks the same. Okay, everything, okay, every paragraph looks the same, you mean? That's what you mean by same. Okay. Yes, because it requires you to go through the entire passage. It is time consuming. Yes, difficult to guess the exact answer because time. Yes, I feel difficult when you have to read the entire passage. It's just too intimidating, and then you go blank. Yes, and also one paragraph might be the answer to 2 questions or 3 questions, so you never know whether you're guessing the right one. Yes, you lose interest. Okay, someone is, all of you are giving me honest answers, and that's the best thing about having a live class like this. Okay, but just get blank when you try to locate the answer. Okay, let me try and address these things, or at least when I tell you what to do, some of it might be addressed. Okay, so let's get into some strategies. I'll explain. Keep giving your answers though. It's very interesting. Many a time the vocabulary is very tough that you lose focus and you can't understand. All right. Okay. Now, I'll try to address and answer each of these issues. Now, the first thing that you need to do is don't look at the questions. Okay. The moment you look at the questions, what happens is your mind gets fixated on the questions, and you're just too fixated on the words present in the questions that you're just looking for the same words in your entire passage. Okay, and that happens. And okay, so again, if you probably don't, you give up on the first question, you move to the second one. Same thing happens with the second one. You're just not able to look for information. You have maybe skimmed through the passage, but it just doesn't happen. You can't recollect where you read it, and by the time you reach the answer again, it's time. So you've spent 5 minutes on one answer, right? So that's just the most messiest thing to happen. You can't lose 5 minutes on one question. That cannot happen. So that's why I said look at the passage first. By look, I mean read the passage paragraph by paragraph. All right. Now you will do this exactly like matching headings, but only thing, you are doing it in the reverse way. You will know how when you practice. So remember, read paragraph by paragraph. And after you are done reading the first paragraph, look at the set of the questions. You may have 11 or 12 paragraphs even, okay? And they may be very, very long. It's okay. Just read the first one, and if you feel that the content is boring, it's just too difficult to connect with such content. Suppose if it's regarding history or anything, or if it's regarding those those really technical terms, maybe things that are associated only with science and technology, that also sometimes can become boring. But remember, it's all upon you. All right, when you try to read something that is interesting to you, your brain tells you that, listen, I'm going to capture this faster, and this is very interesting to read. So something that you connect with, right? Something that you don't connect with, what happens is you switch off automatically and think that, no, this is not something that I like, and probably I will never be able to connect with such content. That kind of feeling sets in, and that's very natural. It can happen to anyone. The only way to do that is to overcome this problem. Actually, you can't do it in the exam. In the exam, you have no choice but to read the passage. But while you're practicing, if you find such a passage, make sure you read and understand every single sentence of the paragraph. You cannot give up on the content. You have to be determined and say that, look, you have to read this paragraph and get your answers. You have to be as determined. Okay, that's how you gain focus, and that's how you kind of gather yourself to attempt these questions. That's the first thing that you do. Okay, the next thing that you do while you have finished reading a paragraph and you're looking at the questions now. Okay, remember, the questions are never direct. They are not just phrases picked up from the passage. They are in fact a paraphrased format of what you see in your passage. Okay, so for that reason, you need to kind of remember what you read in your paragraph and compare the 7 or 8 questions that you have with your current paragraph. And that's how you get to your answer. So if you're reading A can be the answer to, say, seventh or the sixth question, or even the fifth question, anything. But you need to make sure you come to that conclusion after you have read the paragraph thoroughly, not before that, and also have read the question thoroughly, not before that. That's the second thing that you need to remember. Read your paragraph thoroughly, read your question thoroughly, and compare them. Okay. Now, next thing that you need to consciously remember is that you may also be looking at the wrong paragraph. So, your paragraph A may not be the answer to any of these questions. So, if you can't match anything, just move on. Move on to paragraph B. Okay, these are things that you can do to and again, it takes time. So this entire technique and moving from one paragraph to another can take you a long time, but make sure, keep a target. If you have 7 or 8 questions to answer, target completing this within 10 minutes. Okay, that's the time limit that you should set for yourself. Okay, okay, give me a quick yes if you understood this. And again, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is practice. So just give me a quick yes. And if you have understood it, you will apply this in the practice that you do. Okay, great, great, great. Phrases, as in similar phrases, Vinesh. Yeah. Okay, then let's move on now to practice. So you guys remember that practice can be a little intensive on your mind. Just make sure you relax and just take it easy. If you get the wrong answer, don't worry about that. Just focus on the technique. Okay. Okay, now these are your questions. We have 4 questions today and have 5 paragraphs. You'll be identifying where the first this particular information or this particular information is present in which paragraph. Okay, I'm going to be pasting them on the chat window. I'm going to be closing the chat to only me for a while because these questions shouldn't be missed. These are your 4 questions. Okay. Oh, sorry. I don't think I've pasted it. Yeah. These are your 4 questions. All right. And this is your first paragraph. Okay. Now remember, just try to recollect everything that I told you about speed reading, about concentration, about focus, and also about the techniques to attempt this question. I told you everything, right? Attempt to implement that now. Do paragraph per paragraph, and I'm sure you will set a habit for yourself. Okay, let's start now. This you have the questions on your chat window. If you're wondering where the questions are, you have them on your chat window. This is your paragraph. You need to identify which question, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which of them is matching to paragraph A. Okay, this is your first. Imagine you have a passage of 5 paragraphs. Okay, which of it is matching to A? Read slowly, carefully. Don't be in a hurry to get through the answer. I'm in no hurry to tell you that this is the right answer. I'm in no hurry to do that. Just make sure you arrived at the right answer. Okay, okay, great. If you guys just remember the advent, that's the first question. Second question is translation of changes. 3 is analysis, that signifies. 4 is techniques adopted. Okay, giving you answers to each one of you is going to be difficult, but I see that most of you are getting to the right answer with the technique that I told you. Great. So I'll just give you maybe 1 more minute. You can't get more than that for answering such a simple one. Okay. And remember, the entire objective of this exercise is to make you do this with your practice. Okay. Great. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Great. So, yes, I think most of you have got your answer correctly, as in the advent, right? That's the one that we are looking at. The advent of studying, as in the beginning of studying the association between mind, brain, and behavior. Look at this, thus opening a window into the relationship between mind, brain, and behavior. So it started out with something. So it started with observing activity of the brain that made it possible to explore links what the brain was doing and psychological behavior. So this particular portion forms your answer. Okay, and yes, it's the first one. So if you guys have no, again, remember 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you are actually identifying the questions. A becomes your answer. So you're identifying the question number, remember? But if you were telling me that the first sentence that you sent forms the answer, yes, that's the one. Okay. The question that corresponds to paragraph A is 1. Okay. So, and how did you do that is because of this. The advent. Thus, opening a window means the advent of identifying relation between mind, brain, and behavior. All right. Okay, great job, guys. And I'm very happy that you implemented this. So, again, Aditya, we're not yet sure about two. We have not yet read the further paragraphs yet, right? So, we can maybe come to that conclusion a little later. But for now, one is short, our answer to this particular paragraph. Okay. All right. Now, before I move on, I just have a very honest question for you. And if you have a no as an answer, I have no problem there. We have just an advanced program just called the Fast Track program. Some of the Fast Track students are also present in this session. This session contains video lessons that are there on the app, also daily quizzes for you on grammar and vocabulary, and also 4 one-on-one reviews. Also has 5 mock tests in the listening and the reading section, and you can get access to us as in ask your doubts for 2 months. Okay, so that's the program. It costs around 5,000 rupees. Now at the end of the program, I'm going to be opening enrollments. Will you be interested to explore this program, or will you be interested to know more about this program? I will do an explanation at the end, but will you be interested to know what the program contains, or are you interested to explore it? Okay, some of you who are already the Fast Track program members, you don't have to say a yes. You are already a member. Rishabh, yeah. All right. Okay, okay. Yeah, so it's okay if you give me an honest answer. Yeah, some of you are already in the program and are a part of this session. So obviously this question is not relevant to you guys. This is, I just want a survey, that's all. Okay. Now, again, it's not that you'll not be penalized for saying a no or anything. Anyway, let's move on. I got my answer. Okay, now let's get back to practice now. We are back to the same 4 questions. Okay, and if by chance you lost those 4 questions, here you go. These are your 4 questions, and this is our paragraph B. Okay, identify which of these matches with paragraph B. So you guys can start giving your answers if you're ready. Okay. No, Junaid. Okay. I'm getting answers. That's great. Unfortunately, most of you are giving me wrong answers here. Okay, now the thing that you need to remember is there's something known as continuity, right? So this and this paragraph have to be connected in some way, although that's not the case here. You can't do that. But if there was continuity, I think then you would have got it right. Okay, let's move on to the answers. Now this is, yes, this is two, translation of changes in blood flow in nerve cells into images. Now I just paraphrased one thing. I just said, instead of saying different areas of brain, I said nerve cells. Okay. So they virtually light up the amount of activity in nerve cells and you're able to translate them into images. That's the only thing that I did. I didn't quite do anything else. And that's why maybe you got confused. Okay. The answer is two. As in, I mean, the question to this particular paragraph is two, translation of changes in blood flow of nerve cells into images. Look at this. That's why I said continuity. I think if you had that, maybe you wouldn't have this problem. So detecting changes in blood flow was there in paragraph A, and in paragraph B, with this information, as in the changes in blood flow can be translated into images. That's why maybe you guys missed it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have. So this here refers to actually this, the changes in blood flow. Okay. And yeah, maybe that's why you guys got confused. All right. Anyway, so that's why the question here is two. Okay. Yes. Again, if you guys missed it, it's there in the first paragraph, and the reference here is made in the second paragraph. This information can be translated into images. This information there refers to changes in blood flow. Okay, okay, okay. That was a tricky one. Anyway, moving on to our next paragraph. This is paragraph C. Try getting the answer now to paragraph C. Also remember what I said about strategies. Okay, just keep in mind, uh, just remember that slide, recall that slide, and attempt this paragraph. Your four questions again, if you I don't think I've opened the chat window, but just scroll down to the messages that I sent. Yeah. I love the way you guys are participating in the class, but unfortunately, none of you have given me the right answer yet. Okay, please open the question slide. I'll probably give you the questions again. There you go. These are the questions, and this is your paragraph. Okay, okay. Great. I think I've been getting the right answers now. Yeah. Yes. Okay, the entire last sentence serves as your answer here. Epigenetic factors may serve as a critical biological link between the experiences of an individual and the subsequent individual differences in brain and behavior, which suggests that a third question also has that, an analysis that signifies a relationship between an organism's genome and its behaviors. Again, another paraphrasing that I did, and you got it right. Okay. Now, until obviously our order has been the same, as in one to A, B to two, C to three. That's not usually the order. All right. You need to remember that your order is always jumbled. It's not always like this. It can be like this for 2 questions, but I mean, there's no such pattern that you can find here. Okay, now let's move on to another paragraphs now. One sec. Yeah, let's try D now. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is a very unusual case in this particular passage. Yeah, exactly. So it again matches with C, which is not usually the case in your exam, but I just kept it so that you identify it. And I maybe kept the same question for two paragraphs only for this reason, that you know to look at the sentences and identify the correct question. Okay, so the complex nature again of organisms' genetic code and organisms' directly observable physical and psychological manifestations and behavior. So this particular study highlights that, and the same thing was present in your earlier paragraphs. Okay, so in the original passage, actually, this paragraph was the third one, and the next one was the fourth one, and that's why the close interlinking between the two, and that's why again your question remained the same. Okay, questions again. Yes, here you go. These are the questions. So analysis that signifies relationship between an organism's genomes and its behaviors. That was the question, and the answer lies here. Okay, okay, now let's look at paragraph E. Okay, let's try and look at paragraph E and identify the answer. Okay, if someone wants the questions again, this was very, very simple. Again, not too complicated. Yes, yes, I'm coming to that. Just try answering these questions, guys. People who are asking me for a strategy slide, don't worry if you missed it. Again, it's streaming live on YouTube. Okay, so you can go back to our YouTube channel and also refer this. Okay, okay then, great. Yes, 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 this was very, very simple. Again, never expect your questions to be this straightforward. Techniques adopted by SCN to analyze perception and behavior. Here you go. Techniques adopted by, yes, here, these are the techniques, as in integrating theories and methods of its parent disciplines. SCN tries to understand the interactions between social behavior, cognitions, and brain mechanisms. Okay, so this is your, here you go. Field asks question. I think the entire paragraph for that matter kind of contributes to the question. Okay, so it's 4. Now, the only thing, the aim of such a simple exercise was to make sure you understand the technique. Now, with this particular paragraph, if you are able to get your answers right, if this is a fairly long paragraph, contains about 100, 120 words. If you're able to do this with a short paragraph, you can just replicate this or extrapolate this to a longer passage and do it, right? Is that right? Just give me a quick yes if I'm making sense. Did you understand what I said? Try this with a longer passage. Okay, and as I said, make sure you have a time limit. Don't compromise on the quality that you on the time that you spend with on preparation, or also the quality of your preparation. Don't compromise on that. Okay, and this is something that I suggest to every student that I have, is focus on fundamentals, as in focus on improving your marks in this area, focus on improving your marks in true or false, matching headings, and then only do full marks. Don't head to full marks directly. That's not going to get you anywhere. So if you are someone who is at a band 7, will probably remain at a band 7 throughout if you don't improve these things. All right. Again, don't worry about how much time you are spending or how much you got in this exercise. That was not my aim. Now, how much time should you be reading every day, Gurleen? Okay, that's a difficult one. So if you are able to spend at least half an hour sitting for yourself and reading, great. That makes a lot of difference. But you have to do it consistently. As in reading in general, whatever newspapers or books that you have can help you improve your vocabulary. Reading, general reading that you do apart from the reading passages can help you in your writing section as well, because you know how a person gives opinions, what kind of words used, the idioms, the collocations that are generally used, everything you get to know. Okay, so just remember the importance of reading is not given as much weightage. Yeah, it's boring to do 30 minutes continuously. Gulleen, break it. 10 minutes is also, it's also fine. Okay, writing for another session, guys. It's not allowed really in IELTS Task 2. You can't use informal language. Most idioms are used informally. Some, at least not most of them, but majority of them are used informally. So yeah. Okay, all right. Now, I wish to talk a little bit about the fast track program that we have. And if you guys feel that we are promoting content, so be it, because we're proud of a program. And this is for people who are genuinely interested in becoming a part of our community. So if you're not interested, or if you feel that this is not something that's relevant to you, you can leave the session. Okay, just don't put hate comments on the comments box because you think that we are promoting it. We are promoting it because it's a part of grassroots education. All right. Okay. Now, just a little bit about fast track program. I'll take your questions in the end. Whoever is giving me questions, I'll take your questions in the end. Let me just finish explaining this. And okay, so this particular program contains more than 100 video lessons, as in the entire coaching is done online. So you have video lessons to understand these tricks, strategies that we did today are present in much more detail for other question types, for other sections as well. This includes 39 PDF handbooks, as in essay samples, speaking question banks, words, vocabulary, basically idioms, collocations, and all that, and also some reading materials for you in terms of understanding strategies, mostly for the listening and the reading sections. Okay, that's what these video lessons contain. These are present on our app. It's called Grassroots Education. Now, if you're someone who is using iPhone, you will have to download Class Plus. I'm just sending that link uh, to you. If you wish to download that app and look at the basic content, you can do that by doing this. Now, this is for iPhone users. If it's not relevant to you, please don't click this link. This is only for iPhone. All right, just click on this particular link. And this is for Android users. You can download the app Grassroots Education on Play Store. So that's about the video lessons. Now, apart from this, because we believe so much in focusing on the fundamentals, one, we suggest students to have their own vocabulary list and also use our video lessons for grammar, for understanding basic grammar concepts. Apart from that, we have daily quizzes on grammar and vocabulary. And these are extremely short quizzes, again available on the app. You can just probably finish these quizzes within a span of 10 minutes. And the aim of these quizzes is to make sure you are in touch with the fundamentals of the language. That's all. The next feature that I would like to talk about is about one-on-one reviews. Now you understand that listening and reading, the answers are either right or wrong, right? There's no other way to it. But in writing and speaking, it's more subjective, as in you need evaluations for writing and speaking. So that's for that reason we have 4 one-on-one reviews directly with the chief coaches. There's no one else who's doing the review process, and we'll tell you where you are, which is your band score currently, and how you can improve your band score. All right, and we'll do that in the best way possible. As in, again, if you're weak in the language, we'll tell you probably to focus more there than on IELTS writing or speaking. Again, if you're good with the language, you just need a little bit help in understanding the pattern. We'll again help you there as well. All right. Okay, so that's the third feature that I talked about. The next feature is the moment you enroll, we send you a welcome email containing 5 mock tests each for listening and for reading. Okay, and again, these are PDFs, so you can just download them offline and take the mocks on your laptop or on your mobile phones. That's the next feature. Now, the last, but probably the most important feature is unlimited doubts, as in you have interaction, you have our WhatsApp numbers, and we interact with you constantly on your progress, and also make you encourage you to ask doubts if any. All right, and also small or big, I mean, you might not understand a certain concept that was done, or you might have generic doubts about a certain grammar rule, or it can be a generic doubt about how do I write this essay, or I can't, you may lose confidence in a particular section, and you might feel lost sometimes with the situation that's going on. So all these things you can just interact with us on WhatsApp. Okay, and you have access to the quizzes, the one-on-one reviews, the 5 mock tests that I talked about, all for 2 months. But the video lessons will be there with you for a year. I mean. Okay, so that's about the fast track program. And who is it ideal for? So this is ideal for people who are taking the exam soon, who have a fair knowledge about what the IELTS is, but just need help in specific areas. It can be in any section. Or it can also be for people who are just beginning to start the IELTS and are looking for a schedule, basically. And you know what to do, but you're just not able to fit yourself into a schedule. That, again, this is useful for probably anyone, but again, you need to be kind of harsh on yourself, and you need to be consistent with your preparation. So whichever way it is, whichever category you fall into, you need to make sure that you utilize these 2 months that you have with us effectively. Okay, so that's a little bit about the program, and I would also like to specifically share success stories from this program. So Tanvi was one such student who needed help with the writing section. She was very clear in the other 3 sections. She just took a couple of mocks in speaking and just maybe a couple of them in writing. And she managed to score a 7 with just that. So she was an FTP student, while the others were were a part of other programs. Uday, Radhika, Amanpreet. So we also have these success stories uploaded on our YouTube channel. You can take a look at that. Okay, so this is about the program, and this is why we feel that getting, or probably if you get into this program, you will probably progress from where you are right now to a place where you're comfortable to take the test. Or if you feel that you need someone to motivate you and push you to study, this is probably again the other program. Or if you think you need help with a particular section, you just weak in the writing, you're just weak in the reading section, you need just probably a little bit of push there, then again this program will help you. All right, we don't have live classes as a part of this program. You only get access to the free sessions, not the classes that we hold for other advanced programs. And again, why we don't have access to live classes is because live classes make you somehow time bound, as in you have to attend the live class. Whereas if you don't have access to them, probably you can utilize that time and do other prep. That's our belief. Okay, so if you are interested to enroll in this program, then this offer is valid for you for 15 minutes, as in you will be able to pay only 2,999 for the next 15 minutes instead of 5,000 rupees. And where do you do that payment? You need to download our app. Okay, and once you download our app, you can find this particular program on our store option. So let me just show you how our app looks like on laptop. Yeah. I'm just coming to the questions bit. Okay, so once you have downloaded the app, remember the course costs you 5,000 rupees. Because the offer is valid for the next 15 minutes, I would like to make a change to 2,999 and save it. So this offer is valid to you for 10 minutes. Oh, sorry, 15 minutes, as in until 10:10. Okay. So your app downloads, if any, will be received by us. Here again, link to download the apps is also here. So if you are an iPhone user, this is where you will be downloading the app. And this will be your login process. Make sure you register as student, otherwise you will not be able to find our course. And this is for our Android users. You can look for grassroots education on the store option, on the Play Store type. And this is how a course looks like on a laptop. You will also be able to access this course on a laptop. You can do that after you have enrolled. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So as I said, this offer is valid until 10:10. Now, again, if you wish to know more about the program, make or just ask me on the chat window. Otherwise, I'm just going to take a few questions that I have. What is there for speaking in the program? You have speaking video lessons, Shabaz said, and you have reviews. If you wish to make use of your reviews only for speaking, you're totally welcome. Okay. Okay, how do I read something different every single day? They may be many topics that you can Google search on. It can be related to education, health, crimes, different topics, as in policies, politics, sports. Again, can be family, children, such things. So just search for abstract topics like these, and then look for content. Okay, someone else has these questions. Manandeep has this question: what to do if you're scoring good in training and in the exam day you got 6.5? Okay, I think that's the pressure. Manandeep, two things. One is that yes, the pressure, and two is maybe because you are not able to uh, frame or get to an answer quickly. Okay, and with that pressure in your mind, you will not be able to write well as well. You might not be getting words, or you might not be able to find time to proofread. That might be the issue. So you need to take off the pressure, keep yourself free, just think of it as another mock and do it and attempt your exam. Okay, so if Abhinandan, I think, has purchased the fast track program, we can find him here. If you're there in the class, Abhinandan, just give us a message. We have received your payment. So you don't have to worry about this. Yes, Abhinandan has made it. Yeah. Okay, so another question that I need to fix. Okay, scoring a 7 or a 6.5 in reading, how to improve my band to a 7.5 or 8, and also how to handle Vinesh. I think you've been asking me this question for a while now. Okay, now see, if you're scoring a 7 or a 6.5 in reading and want to take it forward, the thing that you need to remember is your basics are sorted. You don't have a problem in the reading speed. You don't have a problem getting to the answer for most question types. You just have a problem for with the sorry one sec. Yeah, you just have a problem with certain question types. Can be true or false, can be matching headings, can be matching information, can be anything. You make sure, Vinesh, or anybody else who has this question, that you only focus on that. Whatever practice that you're doing, make sure you kind of give your 100% time in reading specifically only to those areas. And while you're good, so out of 10, if you say score 9 or 8 in that particular question type, then I think you can go ahead and take full marks. And again, when you take full marks, don't focus specially on your weaknesses. Try getting 100% score in your weakness areas. Try that consciously, and think that you have to only make 4 mistakes in the entire test, or 3 mistakes in the entire test. That's like a, it can pressurize you, but sometimes, but I think that's a very stringent target to have. And if you have such targets as numbers, then you won't make those mistakes. Okay, again, people are telling me that in their mocks that they do at home, they're able to score a 7, but in the exam, they score 5.5. Now, that can be because of various reasons, because you're entering the exam hall for the first time. It can also be that the atmosphere was not very friendly. All those external factors can be a problem, but you need to kind of remember that they will be there anytime you go to. So you need to kind of put that aside, focus on your exam. What is the minimum scores for PR, and is there any negative marking? Sonali, there's no negative marking. Minimum scores for PR, I think it's 7, but the more you get, the better it is. How to find startup point in case of fill up questions? That's okay, Deepak. The best way to do that is to compare, just have a group of sentences that may have your answer. Look at your question, only compare the information that is present first, okay? And then maybe strike out or highlight the information that is already present, and segregate the information that is absent. And then again, look at your question and try rephrasing that information into your answer. That's how you do it. Now, if you're making mistakes in fill-ups, Deepak, remember that you can't make mistakes in reading. You can do that in listening to some extent. You need practice, Deepak. So once you practice this, I think you'll be fine. Okay, so just a reminder, you have 7 minutes to enroll in this particular program, and after that, I'll be changing to 5,000. Okay, any more questions that you guys have? I see that there are some on the Q&A box. Most difficulty on true or false. If you guys are telling me true or false answers, I mean, true or false is difficult, we'll do a session later on this particular concept. You are not able to send your answer. Okay, that's a different question. Okay. So again, remember that you need to prepare yourself for the worst, and make sure you don't give yourself that extra leniency. Just make sure you evaluate yourself more strictly. Don't give up on your weakness areas so easily. So all of these should happen before even you think about taking the exam. Don't go schedule an exam date and then start preparing. That's not how it is. Okay. Yeah, any more questions that you guys have? All sections you're able to score a 7 and 8, Sarabjit Kaur, whereas in writing it's getting difficult. You're not able to score more than a 6.5. Sarabjit, it can be that your structure is a problem in the writing area. You need to focus on that. And it can either be the information that you give in your paragraphs, or the way you write your introduction. All that can be a problem, Sarabjit. And if you have been going for a coaching, make sure you ask your trainer for reviews. That's how you improve in writing. Matching headings is your main problem, Anuradha. Again, just follow the same technique that I told you today. Do the same thing for matching headings as well. Go paragraph by paragraph. Two headings get matched. Anuradha, remember in matching headings, the strategy is to uh, look at the central idea of the paragraph, not at the information. So try framing a summary on your own. Don't depend on your headings and think that okay, maybe I'll get an answer then. You frame a summary on your own and then try matching it. First have an understanding of the headings of the paragraph and then get to the headings. Don't be in a hurry to read the headings. Yes, exactly. After reading your passage. Okay, so this is Vishal. All right. Yes, Abhinandan. We'll get in touch with you, Abhinandan, in a while. I'll send you a welcome email and also interact with you and tell you how you can improve in these two areas. Yes. Again, Anuradha, it depends. So if you are reading a short passage, then reading questions first makes sense. But if you're reading a longer passage, it's necessary for you to uh, focus on the content of the passage before even you venture into the questions. Okay, just a couple of minutes. If you guys are willing to enroll, just give me a quick me on the comments box. And if you are interested, I'll hold this for some more time. Or if you're facing issues with the payment or anything like that, just let me know. Otherwise, I will just revert it to 5,000. And if you have questions to ask, please put them on the comments box. If you have been wondering how the video lessons look like, they look something like this. You have different folders for listening, reading. For listening, you have different question types. For reading, again, you have the different question types, as in true or false, sentence completion, selection from a list. All of these, along with, of course, an example explanation video with the practice that we give. Also samples with for writing, as in for both letters, for reports, and also for essays. I've also done some band descriptors as well as a part of video lessons. For speaking, again, all the basics, basically the exam format, band descriptors, how to develop content, how to take notes, what are the common errors, how you should go ahead with your speaking preparation after this. That's the content. Again, we have live class recordings. Again, this is applicable to someone who is an advanced member. Grammar and vocabulary have all the concepts in grammar. Again, the simple ones that most of you get confused in: articles, pronunciations, punctuations, pronouns, tenses, prepositions, all these things. Okay, I've also done a few video lessons on conjunctions. Okay, And this is what I was telling you, the daily quizzes that we send. This is how they look like. These are just 10 questions on vocabulary and grammar. And this is how they look like. So you can just take it from your mobile phone as well. Yeah. So I'll probably extend it till 10:14, and if I don't get an enrollment, maybe I'll just close down the offer. Sonali, till what time are you going to conduct these classes? Do you mean the free classes, Sonali? Okay. For now, we have the bandwidth and the capacity to conduct them. So until we find that these classes are too time consuming, until then probably we don't have a plan yet on that, or ending them maybe. Okay, again, I'm just demonstrating how you make the payment. You go to the store option, you click on the program, and you click on purchase now or enroll now. All right. So I've given you time till 10:14, and this offer is valid until 10:14. After that, we revert. Do we have any live session programs, Surabhi? Okay, Surabhi, there's another advanced program. It's slightly more advanced than what you see here in the fast track program. We have live sessions in the weekends there. And that's the grassroots gold program. But for now, we're not opening enrollments for that. We are opening enrollments only for fast track program. But you do have recordings of those sessions here, Surabhi. Whatever classes that we conduct as a part of those programs are uploaded on the app every weekend. So, as I said, we've just opened enrollments only for this program. This program involves 4 reviews, video lessons, along with doubt access for 2 months. If you're trying to make the payment, just give me a quick me on the comments box, that I know that you are in the process and I don't change the price while you're enrolling. Just give me, and if you're facing issues as well, just let me know. Speaking, mocks will be taken live, Surabhi. They are not classes, they are reviews. So the other chief coach, Abhishek, will interact with you one-on-one and will conduct a speaking test just like how it's done in an actual test, and tell you how much you're scoring. With writing, you'll be writing it offline, obviously, and sending your work to us on WhatsApp or on email. I'll just share my screen just like this, and we'll give you a score. So that's how the reviews happen, Surabhi. And you have 4 of them to utilize over a span of 2 months.